The moment that Justin Bieber lost everything by Moon. Justin Bieber is such an interesting fixture and person in popular culture and music. Hardly has he flopped on anything. Even the project that he had no really rollout or press for or any lead single leading up to, I'm talking about the album Swag. It actually did pretty well. And it was a lot better than I thought it would be, you know? I thought the antics and the sort of experimental things that he was doing and the activities he was indulging in prior to releasing the album was going to have a grand effect. And it probably did have an effect on how he was consuming, like what he was consuming to make the album. Because, you know, when you make music, you got to go through life to make the art. But all things considered, it was a pretty good album. There's a lot of things that people like from that album. Daisies, Yukon. I like the record with Dijon. It's some joints on there. But I say all to say that he's been through a lot. Yeah,
Justin Bieber is falling apart, and the industry that built him is once again profiting off of his downfall. He's been posting manic videos on his.
Yeah, these are the videos that I was talking about. I thought Swag was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a blemish on his career. Like the way he was going, I was like, why is his label allowing him to put out music? I also hear that if you're a Bieber fan watching this, I hear he's gonna return back with another album top of the year. So I don't know. You let me know if that's true.
Instagram, using face distorting filters and just rambling incoherently about religion, identity, and sacrifice. Most of his fortune, reportedly over $500 million earned in his career, is being ripped away from him.
True. Generational wealth.
And nothing seems to make sense. But once you look behind the surface, you realize that Justin's decline isn't an accident. It's been manufactured behind the scenes since he was just 13 years old. And in July 2025, as Bieber released his first album in 4 years, a surprise project called Swag, the same machine that created him is now feeding off of his destruction. Because in this industry, your suffering keeps the lights on. But to understand what's really happening,
your suffering keeps the lights on is powerful.
Happening to Justin right now, we need to go back to the beginning to truly understand how a 13-year-old boy busking on the streets of Ontario became one of the most exploited figures in modern entertainment, who serves as a warning to anyone in the music industry, and how the same people who promised to protect him ultimately became his predators.
He's in a very scary situation to where he can go the Aaron Carter route due to a lot of these pop stars, like they have a lot of people doing the life things for them so they can continue to make the art that would generate the revenue for the rest of them. They are the business, and then everybody under them, nobody gets paid without Justin. You know, the major label system is going to eat with or without you. And it's going to cannibalize everything that is in its way. It's just there's no winners in the music industry. Everybody loses eventually. And if you do happen to be winning, it's like the casino. Like it's like the casino analogy. You need to leave while you're on top, because if you keep playing the game, you're going to eventually leave with nothing. But a lot of the pop stars, they can't function, and they can't run their own bank accounts, can't do anything really for themselves because they had everybody else doing everything for them, and they're very insulated to the point that once they're no longer in demand, or they're no longer profitable to the point to where the show can keep running, and they find a new hot pop star to take that person's place, and then they're discarded and left with nothing. They're often in really bad shape. So I've been monitoring Justin closely, as closely as I can. I'm not really checking up on him day to day. Like, I'm not researching him day to day, but I'm saying that just monitoring how he, in this part of his career at his age, with everything at his reach in terms of his vices, his distractions, and what he chooses to do with his time and his money, Is it going to be a detriment to his life, or is it going to add to his life? Is it going to expedite the mortality process, or is he going to be able to, in this part of his career, is he going to be able to find some sort of salvation and happiness? I hope the latter. I hope he finds salvation, happiness, and peace and serenity and all those things.
It's 2008, and a charming-looking 13-year-old with a bowl cut is singing "Ne-Yo's So Sick" on the steps of the Avon Theatre in Stratford, Ontario. His mother films him on a cheap camera and uploads it to YouTube so his grandmother can watch. And within weeks, that innocent video attracts the attention of Scooter Braun, a 27-year-old music executive hunting for the next big thing.
Uh-oh, the show begins. And we begin.
Flies Justin and a single mother to Atlanta, and the pitch is very seductive: fame, fortune, and the chance to live his dreams. There, Justin meets Usher, one of the biggest guys in the industry in that time, so it doesn't take long for record contracts to be signed. Photo ops are arranged, and the narrative is perfect: the small-town Canadian boy that makes it big in America. The early years seemed to just be magical for Bieber and his family at the time. Baby became one of the most watched videos in YouTube history. His concerts sold out in minutes, and merchandise flew off the shelves.
I'm old enough to remember that being called, because my government is Justin. I remember being alive and in a teenager where if you were called Justin and they called you Justin Bieber, it was almost an insult because of when you're young and you kind of I'm not going for anything mainstream, nothing pop. He got his back kicked in for Baby. He went through a lot, and they were publicly ridiculing him. I do remember that.
Behind the scenes, this 14-year-old is already starting to lose control of them.
Only 14. Damn.
And discussed by talk show hosts. His awkward teenage years are broadcast globally for profit, like something straight out of The Truman Show, where everything in his life is designed around people watching him from afar. Ellen DeGeneres, America's supposed sweetheart at the time, repeatedly ambushed the teenage Justin with embarrassing content during interviews. She's suddenly displaying photos designed to humiliate him, then laugh when he looks
Has anyone ever violated Ellen on her show before? Let me know in the comment box down below, because she was pushing the line. I don't know. Ellen got that evil laugh. I'm not really feeling that. I ain't gonna lie.
Then he calls her out on this and she brushes it off as just harmless fun. This was psychological manipulation disguised as entertainment. Even
somebody gotta compile her moments, her most embarrassing moments, and show it on screen for her. But at her like a surprise birthday party. They got to throw a surprise birthday party for Ellen. And it was we compiled some of the moments that I feel like you would be most proud of. Roll it. And somebody's got to capture her reaction. I need to see that. I do. I really do.
More disturbing was actress Jenny McCarthy's behavior at award shows, as she multiple times attempts to kiss the teenage Justin inappropriately, including once trying to kiss his neck while he was accepting an award.
Oh, freaky ass. Oh, freaky ass. I need to stay the ass inside. I need to stay the ass inside.
He's visibly disgusted but forced to maintain composure. Even people like James Corden can't stop touching him. But perhaps
don't touch me. Don't. What was that? A full face touch is crazy.
The most sinister figure in Justin's early years was Diddy. The footage of their interactions, viewed through the lens of what we now know about Diddy, is genuinely
the diddler
disturbing. In one now famous, infamous video, Diddy promises 15-year-old Justin a Lamborghini when he turns 16 and offers him a house when he's 18.
None of these things are free. You gotta pay it back in something. You gotta pay that back somehow.
These weren't just casual offers. They're classic grooming behavior using expensive gifts to create obligations to him, a pattern he's repeated with numerous celebrities, though perhaps none as young and as vulnerable as Justin, that we know of. Even more troubling is the footage where Diddy openly says that Justin should know better than to talk about what happens at his place.
And he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Diddy had custody of a 15-year-old Justin for 48 hours. Just let that sink in. An adult man with a documented history of very inappropriate behavior given unsupervised access to...
I just don't understand how his guardians, I guess his guardian was technically Scooter. But what about your parents? Like, how do you okay that? That's how a lot of those child stars in the 90s, that I don't know if you saw the Nickelodeon with a detailed Amanda Bynes, Drake Bell, and their experience in Hollywood and what they had to go through, and that's just probably like a tip of the iceberg. Like how they was, ooh, it's a dirty game. It's a dirty game.
Charles
Quiet on set. What it was called.
For 2 full days. There's also strange footage that appears to show Diddy checking Justin for a wire, as if the teenager might be recording their conversations. Given what we now know about Diddy's alleged crimes today, and all the freak-off parties and abuse of young artists, those 48 hours might take on a much darker significance. You can actually see the nervousness in Bieber's face then. And that's only grown into a much deeper, more stirring expression that makes you wonder what he's been subjected to behind closed doors. All of this is happening while he never gets to live a normal childhood life. Everyone around him is always screaming. People hate him everywhere.
You know, it's crazy because we grow up in like, I wish my life was like theirs. They get the access to the women, to the attention, to the money. Oh my God. But like I had a wonderful and beautiful childhood. To give that up, I would be hollow I'm hollow now. I'm dealing with depression now as an adult, but that's neither here nor there, right? Light depression, everyday things, bills and everything, like nothing too crazy, nothing that you're not dealing with. We all got problems in our life is what I'm saying, to be serious about it. But like to be burnt out, right? To be burnt out at 25, 26, no, Justin's probably about 31. Bieber's about 31. He's not that much younger than me. To have to trade that in to really have to entertain everybody, like you traded your childhood and the joys of it, and just being able to live your life freely without every move and everything you do being scrutinized. I just don't know. Like me growing like up and everything like that, like what seemed like a no-brainer trade-off, now as you get older and you hear about their stories, it's like, I'm kind of happy that my life played out the way it played out. But you don't know that, and like you don't know any better, and it's up to your guardians really to really shield you from that. And hopefully they don't sell you out for the money. They don't take advantage of you. They're supposed to protect you, so that you can be like, so you can listen. It's supposed to be somebody in your life, in your career, if you're in this industry young, that's in your career and in your ear, and it's just like, son, daughter, I know this is what you think you want right now, but this is what can come with it, and you're not old enough to make your own decisions yet one day you will be, but for now, this is how it's gonna go. I'm not gonna take from you, I'm not gonna steal from you. This is how it's going to go. Because a lot of these child stars, they bear the unfair responsibility of being the sole financial provider for that family. So it's like, we can't even shield you and protect you. We can't even act in that way. We're complicit in this because they are paying our bills. My child is paying my bills. So I can't even act as a parent. Like, it's like, I need you to continue to make the money. I don't care what you sacrifice or what you're going through. Keep working. Because without this talent, we're cooked.
Paparazzi's always following him. His entire life from his earliest memories has always been watched and recorded, all for other people's entertainment. Anytime he's annoyed, that's good content. Anytime he feels awkward or
like, you fucking up you know how much money I paid for this whip? You know how much money I paid for this car? Like, yo, hey, man.
Here as a young teenager is exposed to the entire world. But actually the most shocking thing with Justin and other child stars who've fallen into similar fates is what's happening in plain sight, and the roles of those close to them who seem to fail them. Throughout this period, manager Scooter Braun positioned himself as
can't be trusted. We learned that later. Can't be trusted. The way he did Taylor is crazy. The way he did Tay-Tay is crazy.
Justin's guardian. The narrative was perfect for the media. A wise older brother guides a talented kid through the danger of fame. They were inseparable. Braun made himself essential to every aspect of Justin's career and personal life. But this wasn't really protection. It isolated Bieber, made him dependent on Scooter, and by extension, the parasite.
Same old phone?
I got hit with an ad. It's all right, though. Content creators got to get paid. It's cool. It's cool. Shout out to Moon. He got to get paid. Shout out to Moon. We gonna skip this joint, though. We gonna skip it. All right, we back at it.
Entertainment industry. He controlled Justin's schedule, his finances, his relationships, and his career decisions. His entire life.
And when you're young, you just want to focus on what this life is affording you, and you make the music. I want to go out and party. I want to go out and enjoy my life. I don't care what's happening in my finances. I don't care whatever. And that is the con. That is the downside of being famous really young, because you're like, I'll take Russ for example. Russ said in the interview, like, I'm so annoying. I want to make sure I want to be involved in every business deal. Send me the contract, send me the splits. I want to know how much money. I want to know everything. Like, when you're older and you get on and you become successful when you're older and you are more equipped with the knowledge of self, the less likely you are to be taken advantage of. Everybody's going to get cooked in the music industry. You're not going to take, it's impossible to not take a loss in the music industry and entertainment industry. You're going to get cooked. But I think it's less likely and it's less devastating. Like, you can come back from it if you got on and like when you're 21, 22, as opposed to being 13.
Positioned himself as the only person Justin could possibly trust in this dangerous industry. And he was the one who would dictate Justin's life forever. In Justin's case, he just didn't realize what was happening until it was almost too late. The spark in his eyes from those early YouTube videos gradually dimmed with each passing year of this, replaced by a hollow stare that spoke of someone who's been emptied out. So far,
hell yeah, he been emptied out, man. They taking my money. Imagine doing 200, how many? I know he was touring something crazy, probably 200 dates, and I come back and you telling me I'm still in the red? Boy, I will hurt you.
Fast forward to 2020, and Justin Bieber's career was in full swing and had generated between $500 to $1 billion during his career. His concerts always sold out stadiums. His albums would always go platinum. His merchandise was a global phenomenon. By any reasonable measure, he should have been set for life. It was only up from here, right? This is what people imagine when they think of living the dream. He had
It's not clocking!
ultimate success, all the connections you could possibly ever want, all the money you could ever want, all the fame you could ever want, even the looks you would want. Justin quite literally had everything you could wish for. But in reality, he had almost nothing. And Justin's financial situation was falling apart behind the scenes.
Moon, I just want to ask you, why did you make Justin Bieber look so elderly in the thumbnail? And how did you do that? That boy looks 67 on the thumbnail.
So how does someone earn $1 billion and end up financially desperate? It may seem impossible, but it's a well-trodden path for young people in the entertainment industry, a slippery slope that you struggle to get off of. It's a classic music industry debt trap that catches many young successful artists. Those with the biggest, purest dreams are some of the easiest targets. Here's how it works. Record labels and management companies at the top of the industry give artists advances. Upfront payments that look like free money but are actually loans against future earnings. The catch is that these advances are recoupable, meaning they could just be paid back through the artist's share of royalties.
Oof. Coldest game in the industry. They're like, just be happy with your fame. Be happy with your fame.
And wasn't exactly broke here in the traditional sense. His current net worth is still estimated to be around 200 to 16% of total sales. But it gets worse through something called cross-collateralization. That means if
no 13-year-old knows what cross collateration is. Not a chance. Not a chance.
one album flops, the debt carries over onto the next project. All of Justin's future earnings from any source the contract covers get used to pay off old debts. So a failed album in 2015 could still be eating into profits from a hit album in 2020. Now, obviously Justin wasn't exactly broke here in the traditional sense. His current net worth is still estimated to be around $200 to $300 million.
That's the thing, like, he can rest on his name and he can always find a way to generate money. It just sucks that, like, you've worked this hard in your life and you have to resort to selling your catalog and things of that nature. But you can always hit the road. You can always make music and you can always tour based off of music that you've already made a connection with people on. So you can find yourself out of this hole because you are Justin Bieber. but that shit still sucks.
But the vast majority was illiquid, and he faced a severe cash flow crisis in 2022, as sources claimed that he was on the verge of financial collapse and was so cash poor that he had to borrow a friend's credit card to play golf.
To play golf, I had to borrow money. I'm Justin Bieber. That shit is crazy.
But before we continue, I want to tell you about Odoo. Odoo is an all-in-one management software that provides entrepreneurs with a range of applications to simplify the day-to-day management of their business, including invoicing, accounting, project management.
I'm gonna let you get your ad off because I am eating off you. I'm making money off your hard work, so I'll let you get your ad off.
Inventory, website creation, and so much more.
I think that's fair. I react to the content that you spent time editing and narrating and scripting. The least I can do is sit through your ad.
For me, one of their most useful applications is their invoicing app, which, for anyone who's a freelancer or business owner, is a huge time saver. As with this, you can create and manage your invoices in seconds. And it's really just as simple as identifying your customer, adding the products and services to the invoices, specifying the billing terms, and then sending the invoice over an email. Or if you want to track your payments, you can redirect your customers to a portal.
And I assume that if you're watching this reaction, you're going to skip through this ad, which is fine. You can, if you want to, I understand.
So with Odoo, where they can pay using the preferred payment methods like Stripe or PayPal. This invoicing application is a great way to streamline your business and efficiently manage invoicing processes and automate a key part of business. And Odoo grows with you, allowing you to add additional apps as your business expands and your needs evolve. Best of all is that you can have this app for free with Odoo's first app offer, which is free for life and includes unlimited hosting and support. Or if you want to grow with Odoo and have access to all of their applications, it starts at €19.90 a month. So check them out today by using the link in the description below. At this time, Justin was deep into his Justice World Tour, a massive 131-day global expedition that was supposed to be his triumphant return after a previous health struggle, when in
Good album. I reacted to it. It's on the channel.
June 2022, he posted a video that shocked the world. Half of his face was paralyzed.
As you can see, this eye...
Probably due to diet, stress, lack of sleep, and, other things that you could be doing. Probably genetics as well. I'm no doctor, but I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. Any of those that are doctors and maybe know the underlying cause behind this paralysis, let me know if I'm way off. Let me know if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, or let me know if that's a contributing factor. Because I really don't know, but I'm interested in how, like, someone that, where he was like, this was pandemic, so 27. You went 27 years without this type of condition, and then it just it was underlying, and then it's kind of scary how it can just appear at 27 years old. You were fine your whole life, and then that paralysis comes. Like, yeah, that's scary.
It's not blinking. I can't smile on this side of my face. This nostril will not move. So there's full paralysis in this side of my face.
He'd been diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, a rare neurological condition that left him unable to blink in one eye or move half his mouth. He said his lifestyle was starting to take a huge toll on his health. Any reasonable management team would immediately have cancelled the tour and prioritised their artist's health. It also turned out that Taylor herself might not also be trustworthy. Firstly, although referred to as an accountant, she's actually apparently not qualified as one.
She was playing the role of business manager, which is a financial role. Even though Lou Taylor had no financial background, she was not even an accountant.
She kicks off her career managing Britney Spears' sister.
The finesse is crazy.
Then acting as a spokesperson for the Spears family. Lou then ended up also managing Britney Spears and has taken all the credit for establishing Britney's conservatorship. And in classic Hollywood style, she was also later accused of having an affair with Britney's father,
Messy!
Jamie. It's a typical story of control and greed in Hollywood. Braun's company then eventually responded to Taylor by conducting their own internal audit, which concluded that Justin actually owed Braun an additional $1 million in unpaid commission.
You mean I owe bro $27 million in commission? What are you commissioning? Like, what are we talking about?
Justin's team called this audit corrupt. The conflict escalated
Hell yeah, it
until
is.
they got one of the
Hell yeah, it's corrupt.
world's most respected accounting firms to conduct an independent investigation. After 6 months of forensic analysis, PwC delivered their verdict in April 2025. Justin owed Scooter Braun $8.8 million in unpaid
31. He's never sang a note in his life. $31 million. He's never hit a note in his life. Never produced nothing. I owe you 31 million for what?
Missions. Let that sink in.
I'm getting mad for Bieber. I ain't
After
gonna lie.
earning close to $1 billion after years of sold-out tours and platinum albums, Justin Bieber was revealed to apparently be millions in debt to his own manager. The audit was so damning that Justin's team didn't even dispute the findings.
He is stressed out.
As Bieber's finances were pulled apart in a very public way, the psychological damage was beginning to become impossible to ignore.
You didn't say a lyric. You didn't do nothing on what do you mean. You ain't writing nothing on purpose. Nothing on journals. You ain't writing nothing. Nothing. Not a lyric. Now you ain't. Did you even walk in the studio and suggest an idea? What did you? I honestly, if anybody is a Scooter Braun fan, which I doubt, if anybody in here, just let me know what did he do to deserve that money.
By 2024, this revealed a man in deep crisis. The media put Bieber's downfall under the
He's thinking about, I'm going to dump his body in the Atlantic River. That's what he's thinking. He's thinking, should I do shit? Do I have to go to jail? Does Wayne Brady have to choke a bitch? He's thinking to himself, should I risk my freedom? Like, what am I like? What do I gotta do? Like, what do I like? 31 million? 30, that's generational wealth. 31?
microscope, and he was starting to crack, just like anyone would in this Truman Show reality. Quote, people told me my whole life, well, Justin, you deserve that, and I personally have always felt unworthy, he posted on social media. Like I was a fraud, like when people told me I deserved something, it made me feel sneaky, like damn, if they only knew my thoughts. How judgmental I am, how selfish I really
Can I even afford to leave the house if I owe my manager 31 million? Like, what are we talking about?
am. This was a textbook trauma response from someone who's been manipulated his whole life. The industry had convinced him that his success was undeserved, that he was lucky to have people helping him, and that questioning their methods made him ungrateful, that his entire life was owed to them. Back in December 2022,
Owe you $31 million? You go out there and sing to them people then, Scooter. Now since you gonna make 31 million, hey, here, hit something. Try to yodel something. Jesus Christ. I'll be pissed.
and the cash flow problems
I'm showing up to his house in a Jason Voorhees mask.
forever. He sold his entire 291 song catalog to Hypnosis Songs Capital for $200 million. At 20
And then it's probably gonna get bought back by the label, and they're gonna own his, and then the label's gonna own his catalog. I wouldn't be surprised if Scooter Braun ended up buying from them back his catalog and ends up owning his catalog. I would not be surprised if that happens.
8 years old, Justin became the youngest major artist to ever sell their entire catalog.
And then he can't do what Taylor did because they had set new rules. Since once you hustle the music industry once, you're never gonna hustle them again. There's been after Taylor re-recorded her whole catalog, no artist can ever do that again. No, that is a once in a lifetime generational finesse. That she got finesse, so she was like, I got something for that ass. There's no way that play's ever gonna be that is a Taylor Swift move that nobody else will be able to take. So if Scooter Braun ends up leveraging and buying back Justin Bieber's catalog, it's like yo like you're it's his catalog now. Like I don't know, like Justin Bieber would have to buy it back from Scooter. That I don't know what you do in that circumstance.
Essentially trading his life's work for a bailout from debts that the industry system itself had created. A year later, he then fired Scooter Braun, but had been holding meetings for a new potential manager for about 3 years already. It's reported that Haley, Justin's wife, led that decision.
She seems like a ride or die. Like Haley seems like a good wife.
However, Braun, who also had Ariana Grande as a client, lost her business too. Within the last year, Braun also lost Demi Lovato and a bunch of other pending losses, all deciding they either want to go in different directions or they just outgrew him as a manager.
Scooter, but his Scooter's ass about to open up Pro Tools for 31 million. Tell me my reverb is off, the EQ is off. Tell me I'm a little off something. You tell him you just sending out an email. That's the highest paid email sender in history. You're only sending emails and hopping on there's no way. There's just no way.
Taylor Swift accused him of profiting from her distress when he acquired her music catalog, stating this is my worst case scenario, and describing it as someone who tried to dismantle her music legacy, now owning her entire life's work. It lends to where there is smoke, there's fire. Whatever the reason, Scooter has since retired.
Them glasses, the glasses with the coat, it just with that stupid ass haircut, man. He don't look trustworthy.
Throughout this financial crisis, Justin's relationship with Hailey became another target for industry exploitation. Their 2018 marriage was supposed to provide stability, but instead it became another source of content and speculation. Every public appearance was analyzed for signs of trouble. Every social media interaction was dissected. When they looked happy, it was used to sell the narrative of a perfect couple. When they looked strained, it fueled divorce rumors that generated clicks and engagement. Then they welcomed their son Jack Blues in August 2024, but their parenthood became another magnet for controversy. On Justin's first Father's Day, he posted that his fatherhood is not to be
I'll be wigging on y'all on social media. I cannot just judge. I was a little questionable. I did not understand why Bieber was crashing out. This is a legit crash out. This is not the new terminology crash out that everybody's running with. This is a legit crash out. I'm still millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in debt after amassing almost $1 billion in gross revenue. No, this is a legit crash out. I would need a rock. I understand. If I'm that in debt, shit, I'm getting married, bro. I'm getting married. I need somebody by my side. Everybody's stealing from me, fucking me over. I need somebody by my side. I ain't gonna lie.
With Hailey later posting Father Day sucks ass. This was later removed, but the damage was done. The breaking point then came in June 2025 outside a Malibu restaurant. Justin, now a father trying to protect his family's privacy, confronted paparazzi who was stalking them.
Me today, bro.
Happy Father's
no,
Day.
Stop
Happy
that.
Father's Day.
Stop. I'm a real dad
Happy
with a
Father's
real
Day.
family.
I'm
You're
not that
really
as well.
in front of my face. No.
Happy Father's
No,
Day.
no, 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 no. We're going to set boundaries here today with all of you today. You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
I find it funny. None of this is funny right here. I'm not saying this is funny. I find it funny that no matter what he's gone through or how much in debt he seemingly was, he never streamed. He never did any content creation. He never did what all these other artists are doing when they're in debt and they're like, fuck this. Fuck, I'm gonna go. That's quite interesting. He never did a deal with Twitch. Never did a deal with like Kick, Stream, Rumble. None of these other methods that kind of would have like been an ancillary way of getting himself out of debt. I mean, he had Hailey. I mean, you know, Hailey, she's successful and rich, so maybe it's just like, I don't need to do that. You know, I don't want to get on camera and do all that thing. But I am a little surprised that wasn't considered.
His desperation was genuine, and his plea for basic human dignity was felt by millions, but within hours, it just became another viral meme. A father's desperate attempt to protect his family turned into another punchline.
I'll take that. I'll take what Young Dawn said. You cannot bleed in public. You cannot show any sign of vulnerability in public where there's cameras. You bleed in the comfort of your own home with your loved ones. You do not show any sign of weakness in front of the cameras or on social media. Nobody's gonna have empathy for you, especially when they don't know your real life. They only see the glitz and the glamour and how successful you are. You know, nobody can take that shit seriously. They can't understand that. So I would never bleed in public unless it's in the music. In the music, it's behind art, so it's like and even then with a drum pattern, drum loop, and melody, they still can't really contextualize and grasp what you're truly going through and your pain. So it's best just to keep that to yourself. But I understand cracking though. I understand we're all human, and this is him cracking under that pressure. So
one of many throughout his entire career since childhood. Hollywood is so relentless, and unfortunately no one gets a pass. It doesn't matter if they're new parents or not, or if they're stars. If anything, a shot at their new family addition is more of an incentive to invade their privacy to get well paid. And you cannot reason with Hollywood's paparazzi hellhounds. So by early 2025, the damage was accumulating as Justin started to look more and more messed up in public appearances. His Instagram posts became increasingly erratic and concerning. In one series of deleted videos, he used face distorting filters and spoke in a high-pitched voice, claiming he'd spent part of his childhood in Alaska and making rambling religious references.
You know, Alaska living. I mean, I caught a couple. I was over there, I was fishing on the dock. I was, must have been 17, 18, 19.
It's the filter in the pitch voice. If he just came on camera and just like, yo, Alaska was lit, it probably wouldn't have been. It's the filter they got him looking crazy like that. So it's like, you're rambling about Alaska with this fucking filter in his voice changer. I do hear Alaska's kind of like a cool like vacation. Like, you know, I had a friend that went out to Alaska and they enjoyed it. So I just think that it was It's the nasty ass. It's really the it's that.
And I mean, when I tell you I reeled him in, Bobby, I reeled him in. I don't mean to get in between.
His body language showed distress, with constant fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, and disconnection from reality that revealed either some serious mental health struggles or just substance issues. In more lucid moments, his posts were just heartbreaking, stating he was broken and implying it was all his fault. Meanwhile, his physical appearance certainly indicates drug use or just bad health, despite his team denying these allegations and saying that Justin is actually doing really well. He once even admitted to alcoholism and said he'd start his day with pills.
That's just good team. That's good teamwork. You can't come out and say our client is fucked up. He's going through it. You can't do that. You can't do that. Of course I'm gonna tell y'all. Of course I'm gonna lie to y'all and say, yeah, Biebs is good. We good over here. We're good. You know what I mean? You can't. Your team can't hit the panic button because this whole shit come crashing down if his team was like, he's fucked up. It's over with. Do you really want your team to come out and say that? I wouldn't.
And was lately seen at Coachella wire thin, gaunt, and clearly inebriated beyond alcohol alone. When you compare it to the young, innocent Justin Bieber being filmed by his mother, it's a very stark contrast. Now, it's obviously hard to have empathy for this guy, especially when he seems so insufferable in the years gone past. But it's scary to see what happens when an industry gets his hand on a child and doesn't let go for 18 years. Even his mother's later admitted her fears about the industry. In her 2012 memoir, she revealed how she felt personally responsible for every contract and deal that shaped her son's future, and she was just terrified of making decisions that might steer Justin towards the wrong people or damaging relationships. She admitted to following her instincts and acknowledged that her worst fears may have actually turned true, as Justin was indeed steered towards unhealthy relationships with figures like Diddy, and those very.
And while she should have some sort of accountability, Justin Bieber's mom, I don't really fault her for that. Like, I don't have any knowledge. It's just like, this is a good opportunity. I mean, like, they know more about this than me, I guess. Like, here you go. Like, I don't really like, I don't really fault her a lot for that. I mean, she has some sort of it, you know, some I'm sure you know your son and be like, I don't know, like, I think we should go in a different direction, you know, as he's the increasing amount of pressure. And you can look at your kid and be like, if you had that relationship with your kid and be like, my kid is going through something, and you can try to, but I think he was already, I think the machine already had a hold of him. I already had a strong grasp on him to where she probably felt like she was powerless and couldn't get through to Justin. I don't know.
Over became the financial chains that would bind her son for decades. And then in July 2025, two things happened that started to surface the true nature of Justin's downfall. He settled his debts with Scooter Braun for over $30 million, and he surprise released his first album in 4 years. His comeback album Swag is a window into Justin's soul that looks so different to his earlier, more innocent music. It sounds like 21 tracks that feels like someone processing trauma in real time while the industry that broke him cashed in. Track 14, Therapy Session, has Justin telling comedian Drewski, "I've had to go through my struggles really publicly. People always asking if I'm okay starts to weigh on me." Other tracks touch on his turbulent relationships and marriage. The timing isn't coincidental. With Hailey's beauty company Rhode selling for $1 billion, the couple finally had the cash to buy Justin's freedom. But even as Justin paid up, Braun's people
got a hustler as a wife. Shout out to you. He picked well. And anybody critiquing his marriage, how many of y'all got a wife that can bail y'all out like in that way? Like, anybody else would have just left in his lowest moment. So I gotta show respect to Hailey. I ain't gonna lie.
were telling reporters that Scooter felt taken advantage of and had been patient with Justin while he partied away millions. Meanwhile, Justin's desperate search for meaning led him deeper into spiritualism. His Instagram became a stream of religious posts and pleas for spiritual guidance. But rather than a place of solace and peace, even his faith became another exploitation vector, as Justin threw himself into Hillsong Church, the celebrity megachurch known for its come-as-you-are aesthetic and A-list congregation. In 2014, during one of his darkest periods, he moved in with Pastor Carl Lentz for 6 weeks, becoming completely dependent on the charismatic leader who baptized him at 2 a.m. in an NBA player's bathtub. The relationship was described
It's a weird way, strange way to baptize somebody.
as mutually beneficial. Lentz helped rehabilitate Justin's public image, while Justin brought massive star power
And Tyson Chandler? Did I say Tyson? I'm not going back. This reaction's already long enough, but you baptized me in Tyson Chandler's bathtub?
The church. Former congregants described Hillsong's cultish atmosphere and celebrity obsession, where the leaders used their friendship with Justin to attract other celebrities, something exactly like Scientology. This wasn't really spiritual guidance, it was just the same manipulation playbook dressed in religious clothing. Eventually, Lentz was even fired in 2020 for multiple affairs and abuse allegations.
God damn, everybody's a shark.
Another person
Everybody's living foul.
intimately connected to Justin, who was struck off for being a disgusting, manipulative individual. Bieber later joined Church Home, which is a Hillsong spin-off fronted
If you can't trust your pastor, who can you trust?
by a pastor named Judas Smith, who's been accused of other cult-like practices: childhood, adolescence, parenthood, finances, relationships, and spirituality. All the core tenets of a full life as a human seem to have been completely warped for Justin. Even with all the money and fame and looks that he's had, it seems like deep down he's left with nothing. And then there's the resurfaced Diddy connection that everyone's been dancing around. As Diddy continues to face charges, the footage of him with teenage Justin just looks so different today. And whether Justin was directly victimized or not, he was exposed to what federal prosecutors now call a criminal enterprise. But here's the real horror story. What happened to Justin isn't even unique. It's a well-worn template, and Hollywood's been perfecting this for decades. Just look at the trail of destruction. Whether it be Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, who's locked in a conservatorship for 13 years while generating $16 million annually for her handlers, Macaulay Culkin earning $23 million as a child while his father controlled every aspect of his life.
And that's off 3 films. 3. Big money.
Finances, Lindsay Lohan churning out tabloid content even as she spiraled into addiction and legal troubles, or Amanda Bynes, whose public breakdown becomes daily entertainment.
I hate what y'all did to Amanda Bynes. I can't stand what y'all did to my generation's it girl. I don't like that shit. I don't like what y'all did to Britney. I don't like what y'all did to Amanda Bynes. I don't like that. That's like my childhood, like my childhood. Like that's fucked up, man. That shit breaks my heart. I'm not hyping it up for the reaction. I'm dead ass. Like it really, like, I don't like it. I really don't.
While her mental health deteriorates. The Olsen twins, working since they were babies, developing eating disorders and retreating from public life entirely. Demi Lovato, who struggles with addiction and mental health, has just become part of a brand narrative. Each case follows the same pattern: early discovery, financial dependency, psychological manipulation, public breakdown, then either disposal or rehabilitation as content. And this model is going global. South Korea looked at Hollywood's child star machine and thought, we can do this better. Now 10-year-olds get signed as trainees, removed from their families and conditioned in company dormitories. When Shinny's life was passed by himself in 2017, he left a note about depression that was eating him alive. And the industry response wasn't soul searching, it was just better PR management. China's got their own version with child influencers and pop stars disappearing into re-education when they step out of line. The UK churns through reality TV contestants on shows like Love Island, where producers keep psychological profiles detailing contestants' deepest insecurities, then deliberately exploiting them all for drama. When participants attempt to pass their own life, producers express concern while planning the next season. Hollywood created a system where childhood itself has become a commodity, where psychological damage generates more profit than mental health, where breaking someone down is more valuable than building them up.
Oh yeah, the negativity is always going to cut through more than the positivity. Always.
Social media just automated the entire thing, ensuring that any blind spot the media itself missed is covered, while platforming people to expose their innermost selves when they're most vulnerable and out of control. Something strays out of the Truman Show time and time again. Society funds this model. Every time people watch the celebrity breakdown video, they fund the exploitation. When Justin's desperate plea to protect his family becomes a viral joke about standing on business, it proved that even a father's attempt to shield his infant son is immediately trivial. Right now, somewhere in the world, another talented kid is being discovered. The same promises are being made about fame and fortune, but they're really just being...
The only thing is, though, there's a lot more stories and a lot more resources and a lot more things that are accessible than when Bieber first got in. So while this is true, and a lot of these kids are still going to get finessed. They still gonna get finessed because the finesse is strong. It's just like good talkers. They send out good talkers. They send out people that you think you can trust and relate to, like the music industry, or send out the A&R, send out the manager, and like you'll probably still get signed to a bullshit deal, but at least you'll be able to navigate it better than Justin Bieber was able to.
being fed into a giant machine designed to extract maximum profit from human talent,
There's just more info out now than there was in 09 or 08.
regardless of the psychological cost. So Justin doesn't really even need a comeback, he just needs an escape route. But this machine won't let go easily. They'll push until he breaks completely, and then drag what's left onto a stage for one final show. And if he refuses, they'll find another kid and start all over again.
But he can go indie. He'll be alright. Justin Bieber's big enough. He can go indie. He'll be alright.
Because this industry doesn't create art or culture, it just creates trauma, then packages this as entertainment and sells it to people who mistake others as pain for pleasure. The machine is running, it's hungry, and it's looking for the next Justin Bieber. The question is, who's gonna feed it to them?
There'll never be another Justin Bieber. Good video by Moon. Good video. Good video. If you stayed here till the end, let me know your thoughts on this. Yeah. Hope you're doing well out there. Steve Levine, as always. I'll be safe. Shwee.